Hello, welcome everyone to the special edition E3 Instant Analysis Podcast. This is XoneBros. The Microsoft event literally just happened. It just happened. That just happened.
It did. It happened just then.
And I'm joined by Jordan the Man Paskett and Mark Mr. McSpicy Haywood. And I am David Paskett, and we wanted to make just give you our instant analysis, our review, our highlights, things that we liked, disliked, and what we're looking forward to on the E3 for the Xbox One. So let's hop right into it.
Let's do it.
First of all, let's go over your overall impression of the briefing. Let's start with Mr. McSpicy.
Because Jordan's
Jordan
sitting there
is-
buying another... Jordan's on his little tablet right now buying one of the announced games right now. Literally.
As we speak, he bought it. What game are you buying, Jordan?
Dead Rising 3 Ultimate Edition Alpha Plus Awesome. But it was the
Funniest name.
It was cool.
Just, the name kept going.
It was
the
cool.
name kept going. What was your question?
Overall thoughts.
I loved it. I loved it a lot. It was like we thought it was going to be, 100% game-driven. No gimmicks, no anything. Phil Spencer comes out. This is Call of Duty. You know, obviously that's probably the one they wanted to do first. But then it was just game after game after game after game. No gimmicks, no nothing. So, and there are some games on there that I am looking forward to. So.
Stoked for. Totally
Yes.
stoked. Jordan, how about you? What was your overall thought and impression of how the briefing went?
Excellent. 10 times better than last year. Last year sucked.
Last year did suck. We don't mince. Let's throw it out there. We don't mince words here on this podcast.
No, it was excellent. We what was it? 20 games in total announced, and 11 of those were exclusives.
Yeah, that was
Excellent.
That was a lot. And on Friday, what did you say needed to be 5 to be healthy?
I
5
said they
exclusives?
needed 5 exclusives, and I said a couple of those need to be 2 IPs. We got 9 exclusives and 1, 2, 3, 4 new IPs from what I can see.
Huh, yeah. Yeah, so I mean they
You
went
took good
out
notes.
and when Phil Spencer says it's all
wrote
about
it
the
down.
games, literally it's all about the games. We barely saw any talking. It was game after game after game after game.
The only talking there was when they came out and said, "This is our demo and this is what we're showing."
Yeah, that's it. And this is why it's awesome.
And they were playing while they were talking too. So.
Yeah.
But a really stark contrast compared to last year's E3. They really needed to hit this one out of the park, and I feel that they did. Just to go over some highlights, Phil Spencer came out at the beginning. He said, "This is the fastest growing form of entertainment in the world, video games." He said, "You guys are the ones that are shaping this console since we launched. This has been..."
And I can see that.
Yeah, we've listened to you guys, and you guys have shaped it. And he said, "Let's get started. This entire briefing is dedicated to games." And then it was.
And then we got Call of Duty, Forza, Evolve, Assassin's Creed, so on, Sunset Overdrive.
Okay, so let's start there. Jordan, what is the game that you're most excited for that came out of this E3? Or the series of games, or what have you?
Well, I mean, of course, it would be the new Halo one. That just looked awesome. What is it? So it's Halo Master Chief Edition. Comes out November 11th. It's Halo 1, 2, 3, and 4. It has the original Halo 2 multiplayer, which they showed a demo of, and it looks good.
And it looks good.
Yeah.
The original,
So-
they
Origi-
specifically
yeah.
came out and said we did not
Touch it.
the multiplayer.
The only
at
thing
all.
they did in the multiplayer is they made it look
Enhance the
the
environment.
enhancing the graphics.
which by the way, they also added a feature to that, which I think is awesome. They added you can have the awesome graphics or you can turn it off and
Now-
have the original.
So I
Is
don't
that
know.
right?
I don't know. Yeah, but I don't know if that's in the multiplayer. I mean, why wouldn't it be? But in Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary, you hit left bumper and it flashes instantly. It's not a loading screen or anything. The screen would go dark for 2 seconds and then come back and be the original.
They
graphics.
did show that in the demo.
Yeah, and they showed that in the demo. You can do
Switch
that,
over,
just
yeah.
one button.
Which is cool. I think that's them
It,
catering to the original. I love
exactly.
that.
It plays at 1080 frames or 1080p, 60 frames per second. It has dedicated servers, which is good. And it has 4,000 gamer score, so it's 1,000 per game.
That is
game,
an
yeah.
achievement's wet dream.
They didn't give a price, but I can't see them going any higher than $60.
No, it's got to be $60.
But $60, even $60.
For 4 games.
For 4 games.
And you get, they have other perks.
They have the Halo Nightfall, which is what ships with it, which is a
it's not to Dawn.
Yeah, it's like Forward Unto Dawn. It's not the TV show that like Steven Spielberg's doing next year. But Ridley Scott is a part of the Halo Nightfall.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. And also you get a beta invite to
Halo 5.
Halo 5 Guardians.
Which they showed a teaser of just to wet our palates.
Now, what I want to know is...
It was just the teaser. I mean, we're burning through this all, but the teaser was just CGI.
See, that's what I wanted to know. Was it CGI or is that...
It looked CGI.
Okay.
It's very...
I think it was just explaining new
abilities.
New abilities.
They showed kind of a space arena.
It was only probably 12 seconds long. It was really short, the CGI they showed.
Really short, but really exciting.
And then I have one more game I'm super excited for, and that would be the game I just bought.
Do you have the name of it? Can you read the
name? So it's the Dead Rising 3 Super Ultra Arcade Remix Hyper Edition EX Alpha. That's what the A stands for.
Now, what stuck out to me was that it was 4-player. Was I wrong in thinking that?
4-player co-op.
Yes.
And it's only $10.
It's only $10. Where did you get that? I'm pulling that up right now.
Here.
Okay, done.
Wow. This DLC is available for purchase through Xbox One Marketplace and is priced at $9.99 and is not tied to the season pass. So it's like its own little game. Now, I mean, I don't know if it's like an hour campaign or whatever, but $10 and it was released today.
And it's Dead Rising 3, which that trailer that they showed. I was laughing.
Well, if you look at the pictures, there's like a huge giant robot that shoots laser beams at you.
You have to have
you had me at all
game to play that.
Well, here, hold on. Well, it doesn't matter. We all have the game.
Because I've not played the original.
It did say I did see requires original Dead Rising 3, but that's okay because we all have it, so we don't got to worry about that.
Oh, okay.
They had me at the costumes that they kept showing. That's when I was sold.
That's what you spent $10 for.
Yeah.
Another thing, just to mention on the Halo 4 Master Chief custom playlists where it will be like the best of all of them just thrown one right after the other.
So we could play like
That's really cool.
the beach level from Halo 1 and then right after that jump into like Halo 2 and then 4 and then 3.
Playlist. Other cool thing that I liked, it's all the games are up on one disc essentially, or one download, whatever, but it's all on the entry screen. You can hop into any game whenever you want. Awesome.
Yeah,
really
totally.
Cool.
Like I said this before. It reminds me of Mario All Stars.
Yeah.
I think I already said it. November 11th this year. And then Halo 5 Guardians multiplayer beta holiday this year. I think they said December. So November.
Didn't they say they had all the maps? So there's over 100
maps
on
there?
They
have every single map, including all DLC map packs from Halo 1. Well, Halo 1 didn't have any DLC map packs, but from Halo 1 to Halo 4, including all the DLCs, so it's over 100 multiplayer maps.
Crazy.
100. I forgot that. 100 multiplayer maps. Yeah.
Now, I don't think, if you notice when they flashed through it, it said Halo 1 CE anniversary, so we're getting Combat Evolved anniversary, and then it said Halo 2 anniversary, so Halo 2 is all redone, but then it said Halo 3 and 4. Obviously, you don't really need to do 4, but I don't think they redid number 3. I think that's just
going to be vanilla.
It's just ported over. But, I mean, 3 it doesn't look bad.
Well, what's going to be fun is all of us to go through those together before Halo 5 comes out. I think that's going to be awesome.
Okay, I love the story.
I think it's 5 hours per game.
And that's
4,
the
20
right
hours.
way. They showed you right there. Look at the value that you get. That's the right way to do an anniversary. To prep for a huge game coming out. Mark, what are you looking forward to the most?
Hello.
What stuck out to you?
Do you know what? A lot of games just looked freaking amazing. Witcher 3, the environment that they were in.
Yeah, that did look good.
Hold on. I have it in my notes. It's actually a game that I wasn't expecting to like as much as I did. I never heard of it. Blind Forest. Is that what it was called? Blind Forest?
No, Ori Blind Forest.
Yeah.
Ori Blind Forest.
Cool.
I had never heard anything about this
game.
Dude,
that made me sad, that
Why
one.
don't you explain?
I know the trailer. It was so
Explain what that game is.
So, it's like a side-scroller. If any of you guys listening have ever played Child of Light, it reminded me a lot of Child of Light. And David, while we were watching, he said it also reminded him of Rayman, right?
Rayman Legends. Yeah,
so it's kind of a hybrid between the two. It looks very story driven to me. And there was this owl in there that just looked. There's characters in there that I thought looked awesome. It looks like a really fun game that I could get into. But Ori Blind Forest, so side scroller similar to Child of Light. I was not expecting a game like that to appeal to me as much as it has, but because of your games with watching you play Child of Light and everything, I liked it.
Yeah, no, that.
I have it right here. I
was
loved
pretty.
the big owl. That was in my notes.
I loved the big
There's
owl.
this huge owl that comes down, and you're this little creature that's bright. You look like a baby, basically, a baby
do.
of whatever it is.
And Jordan, you mentioned that you felt sad because
Yeah,
they showed
like just
some
the
of the
trailer.
story.
Yeah, the trailer
I
alone
mean,
was good.
it looks significantly story driven, and if any of you like story driven games, this may be a good one for you, from what I can tell.
Yeah, so if you get a chance, YouTube that trailer, Ori,
O-R-I, yeah, Ori,
Blind Forest.
Blind Forest. Yeah, but I also want to get Witcher 3 looked awesome. The environment, what stuck out to me. So the trailer was essentially, it was gameplay, and you were hunting. They had this feature where you're hunting a griffin, I think.
Yeah.
But so it kind of reminded me of Lara Croft, where you shoot the deer and miss and miss and miss, like I do when I play Lara Croft. But you shoot the deer and then track the blood, kind of a thing, on this griffin. What caught my eye was the lighting in that game. Walking through the forest, the environment, the mountains behind it. The battle, he did battle the griffin eventually, but that game, I am impressed how games are starting to look.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
And we're only
absolutely.
a year, or not even a year
Yeah,
into
we're
the
at the
new console.
beginning.
Yeah.
Look at the beginning of the 360.
Yeah, I mean, look at Gears of
Right.
War 1, which was, if not a launch title, a very close window to the launch title, to Gears of War 3, which is...
Yeah, a significant difference
Yeah.
in But it's just I was there were times when I was watching that whole the game after game after game, and seeing even Fable, the new Fable really wasn't my thing, but that game, the lighting in that, the environment on that,
The detail,
the
yeah.
detail, the Assassin's Creed trailer,
Oh.
which, holy cow, the detail that they put on the artwork on the walls, and inside the buildings. We can go into that game. It's a co-op game and everything,
Yeah.
but overall, my feelings on how I was just in shock on how good these games look.
Immersive.
Yeah,
They're really
I'm-
focusing on immersing you in a world.
I mean, I was playing Commander Keen 20 years ago on my PC, like on DOS, and seeing where games are now, it blows my mind. I was in shock. I felt it was I have all these emotions, like the games look so good right now.
Was there a release date on Witcher?
Um,
Anyone?
yeah, next year. It's next year. It
Oh,
wasn't announced,
2015.
but it's February 24th, 2015.
And for those of you, so Halo Master Chief Collection, by the way, releases November 11th. So
Okay.
right before the holidays. That will be awesome. Way awesome there. So, Halo Master Chief, everyone's in agreement. Awesome. Ori Blind Forest.
Blind Forest,
looked
surprisingly.
Cool. Witcher
But
3 looked cool.
Assassin's Creed, I do want to say that.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed. Let's talk about Assassin's Creed. Actually, I'll jump into that. For the first time, and I think this is really what Assassin's Creed was missing, especially Black Flag. Black Flag was tons of fun. You could go around. It was the most open world that Assassin's Creed has been, but it was missing something. It didn't fully catch me. And I think Assassin's Creed Unity, which is the next one, will catch me because of the social aspect. 4-player campaign.
4-player campaign co-op.
Co-op.
And
Looks so good.
I know. Do you know what it reminded me of? Because the setting takes place in France in, what was it, like 1739?
Yeah, it's the French Revolutionary War.
Okay, so it's the French Revolutionary War. I felt like I'm going to be D'Artagnan. I'm swearing.
Three
Dude, Three Musketeers right there, because you're four bad A's walking around, and you have your David character running in and just killing everybody.
Oh,
but,
yeah. It's going to be awesome.
But the artwork on the walls and the ceiling, it just, I cannot believe where games are right now.
Yeah, and I
Detailed.
think in a game like that, as I was watching it, I think, how will it play out co-op? I think you really will be forced to communicate and talk, because one guy could screw up everything. Yeah. So
do you know who that guy is, right, David?
That's going to be me.
Yeah.
Guilty as charged. For me, two games that stuck out to me were right at the very beginning. Call of Duty Advanced. Is it Warfare or Warfighter?
Warfighter was Ghost Recon.
Okay. Advanced Warfare. They showed a campaign
Trailer.
trailer.
And it was actually
gameplay.
really good.
It was excellent. I'm not going to lie. It was
The
emotional.
yeah.
Very good storytelling, at least in what we saw there.
Well, that's
And the graphics.
Yeah.
excellent. I don't know if they're using the same engine that they've used in the past, but it definitely looks
Probably
like
modified. They usually just modify the crap out of it.
It looks
Their
excellent.
faces look really good, especially when they talk.
There's one point in the trailer where one of your teammates goes up and puts a grenade in this spaceship, basically, or hovercraft that's taking off, and the door slams shut on his arm, and you're trying to pry it open, and he looks at you and he's like, "Just leave, man. Just leave."
And you're like, oh.
And you're like, "Oh no!" And then you jump off, and it blows up, and shrapnel comes at you and hits you in the chest, and you look down, and another one of your teammates come and starts to drag you away, and your arm is on the ground, left there as it's dragging you away. Looks so good.
Yeah,
so
it looks really good. And you can rip off a car door and use it as a shield.
Yeah, they ripped off these car doors and used them as a shield. So, cool game. That comes out November 4th. Forza 5 came out, a new track available today. The Nürburgring. I can't even say it.
Yeah, Nürburgring. It's free to all Forza players.
Yes, so that came out today. And then on the piggybacking off that, they went on to announce Forza Horizon 2. Some highlights of that, completely open world. Love that. So that's kind of like The Crew or Midnight Club, but with Forza, which will be amazing.
Where I'll just be sitting there spinning in circles.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm used to the arcade style, not the simulation
Exactly. Full day and night cycles. Love that. And dynamic weather, full dynamic weather. Then you can do something which they didn't go into detail on this, but you can set up 1,000-member motor clubs. I don't know exactly. There'll be
kind of
like
just sounds like
I
guilds,
guess.
yeah.
But
And
with
then
driving.
it also has seamless multiplayer.
Yeah, so you can hop in and out of your friends' games whenever you want. And I would imagine they would still tie in the Drivatar experience. So maybe when you hop in as your Drivatar seamlessly, you'd think, right? I mean, something like that. And that comes out September 30th, so that's just around the corner.
This year.
Yeah.
Super stoked for that game. Worthy mentions. Anything that maybe didn't make the top but are definitely worth mentioning?
We really have to talk about Division.
I totally forgot about. How did I forget about Division?
Well, before we do that, Inquisition looks pretty cool.
Oh, Dragon Age, yeah.
Yeah, when they're fighting the dragons and stuff, it looked really good.
Yeah, I mean that always has looked good. Oh,
Let's talk about it.
That's October 7th. Let's explain what we saw.
I'm trying to remember. I mean, my whole.
It was just a gameplay trailer. But what I liked is when they started showing you fighting dragons, and the dragon was up above and like blew fire down at you. It looked really cool.
Is this supposed to be multiplayer? I got the feeling that.
No, I don't think so.
Like
I think it's straight single player.
Straight same as the other Dragon Age.
That style of game kind of it's.
because it's choices and stuff. Yeah.
Switch between them, and that's right.
4 people in your.
Yeah, that looks excellent. Good graphics. That also is open world, sandboxy. As well, whereas the previous Dragon Age is open world but linear. I mean,
linear open world, yeah.
So,
okay, shall we talk about Division now?
Yes.
Oh, by the way, when do you have to go, Jordan?
In like 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay, because I want you to go through all the exclusives. Since you took the best notes.
Okay.
Yeah.
let's do that first before we get in. Before we get into Division, name off all the exclusives.
Okay.
How many exclusives did they mention?
11 exclusive titles for Xbox. Well, 10 exclusive titles for Xbox One, and then another exclusive title for Xbox and PC.
Okay, same thing.
Which is essentially Microsoft, yeah.
Okay, so we have Forza Horizon 2, digital download of Dance Central, Sunset Overdrive, Fable Legends, Dead Rising Ultimate Arcade Awesome Hyper Edition.
Which you bought right then.
Yeah.
I just watched you buy it.
Project Spark, Ori, Blind Forest,
That's
Halo
the one I like,
Master Chief Collector's Edition,
Oh,
Phantom Dust, Scalebound, and the new Crackdown. And that one's going to be a big one. Crackdown was a popular game.
Phantom Dust was the one where they had the two people. It was looked like a fighting game.
I don't know what that is. And then Scalebound.
Scalebound looked like
a weird.
That was the Japanese game.
That was the Japanese game that reminded me of Pokemon with dragons.
Yeah, and Beats headphones.
And with Beats, by Dr. Dre headphones in the character. So, so 11 exclusives.
That's a really strong showing for exclusives. It'll be interesting as we go through E3 to see if Sony.
I want to see what Sony and Nintendo, how their press conferences go now. So
yeah, it'll be interesting.
I'm curious.
To see. That's for sure. Okay, Division. Let's move on to Division, since Division is the game that we love and then we hate and then we get tired of it.
Yeah.
And after seeing it today, I am head
It
over
looks
heels
good.
in love with it.
Here's
again.
this thing. I wrote down a quote by Jordan. Okay, we're watching this. We're watching this
Keep in mind, it's Ubisoft. That's producing this.
Yeah,
okay.
that's important to know. But I mean, the game looks awesome. We're watching 3 co-op players essentially play, and one guy on a tablet, right?
Yeah.
Play the Division, and they're about to do some stealth kills on throughout the environment. And Jordan goes, you know what they should do? They should just add the multiplayer disconnect so I could get a more realistic feel for the game.
Go.
Because it looks seamless. It looks really good. I love the concept behind the whole. It looks awesome. But that's true. They've struggled with multiplayer games.
This is what I wrote down. I said, looks pretty, good graphics, cool skill changes, cool weapons, gameplay looks good and solid. In parentheses, will it work?
And that's Ubisoft. I mean, if Watch Dogs is any indication. Well, and then Assassin's Creed as well. Is that going to be a problem for Assassin's Creed?
I guess in Ubisoft,
yeah.
In Ubisoft's defense, I mean, Watch Dogs was meant to be a single-player experience, but still, like, having such a bad multiplayer launch does not give me faith for a multiplayer only, a very co-op strong
not only
base.
That, but
not multiplayer only, but very strongly co-op based, right? So.
Yeah, and not only that, but it's supposed to be and it looks ambitious, like they're trying to do something new, and that
I mean, it got delayed maybe to fix problems, and I hope that's what they're doing.
Well, let's just, from what we saw, let's assume it works.
Okay. Oh, if it works what we saw today, it's a must buy.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Amazing.
I loved how, because you started in like the subway system or somewhere underground, and this is another game that just looked amazing to me. The stuff on his backpack, the main character we were watching in third person as he's walking through, and then he goes up the stairs up into the whole world around you, and then there's like NPCs. That's new that we.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that before, because before I thought it was strictly multiplayer, but maybe they're incorporating like there's NPCs and like you and a rival gang might go up to the same objective at the same time, which is cool because that might that brings a lot of new gameplay to it.
Yeah.
So that third
looks
person
awesome
to fight. So,
anyways, in my opinion, the game looks great.
Yeah, it does look really good.
When you're running, you're blowing out windows of the taxi cab, and you run up to the taxi cab. I love the cover system where you're sliding in, and then of course, David, you point out. Oh, did you notice he shut the door
again? Something they showed
last
year as well.
When I first saw the first trailer, he shut the door on the car, and I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, that is cool. No, that definitely looks good. I mean, I don't know anyone that's not excited for that game. So overall, are we excited for the upcoming year for Xbox? Did you leave thinking this is going to? They needed to do a lot. I mean, to recover. Did they do what they needed to do?
Okay. Jordan?
Well, 2 minutes after the press conference, I bought a new game.
That is true. That's a good point.
What an awesome
game. I think it was an excellent press conference. It's what they needed to do. There's all this criticism. The Xbox isn't the gamer's machine, which we talked about in one of our podcasts, What Makes a Gaming Machine. But they came out and said... I think they said, okay, you think we're not a gaming machine? Well, here's 20 games that are going to come out this year, right?
Yeah.
And hardcore games. I mean, you look at this Halo.
These are big blockbusters, but even talk about the independence.
Oh, yeah. I completely forgot about that. 70.
I thought you said
17.
Oh, 17.
That's what they showed us, but they said they had more.
They said they had more, but I counted 17 independent games coming to the Xbox One marketplace.
Inc. is one that I'm excited for.
And that
one's people play that on Steam.
And that's on Steam. That's still it's
alpha,
a beta.
Right?
Is it? I thought it was beta.
Oh, maybe
is it
it's
alpha?
Beta. Yeah,
I thought it was beta.
I knew it was pre.
So so there's independent games coming too. So this
sorry, go ahead. I'm just saying, look at how many games. I mean, I know it doesn't really matter this first DLC stuff, but I think there's four games that have first DLCs on Xbox One. So I mean,
which is important.
They're being aggressive, and The Division is one of those games, and I tend to think Ubisoft doesn't really lean Microsoft, but so I thought that was a big announcement. But anyway,
Rise of Tomb Raider.
Oh yeah, another one.
Yeah,
oh, and that was a world premiere at the Xbox thing. I mean, it's going to come out on all consoles, but to have a world premiere game at your conference,
huge.
So.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'm curious to go and look at.
Oh, and one.
Because last year there was some big time critics who are still big time critics, and I'd like to see if this swayed their perception. It definitely swayed mine for sure.
Yeah.
I'd like to mention one of the exclusives, Fable Legends. looks like it's trying to do something new. I've always liked Fable.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're going to say. Yeah, keep going. Yeah.
But this, first of all, it's going to be multiplayer campaign, and one person can play as the villain. So as you're going through the campaign, it looks like the villain can decide when bad guys come in, how they come in, who they target, basically try and keep you from reaching your objective. Now, how this works out, I don't know, but in concept, it seems really cool. It seems like a cool new way to do multiplayer.
Yeah, yeah. And so there's 4 people playing the game, yeah? And then the 5th person, so that's 4-player co-op versus another single player that has an overview of the entire map that's dropping enemies in certain places of the map.
Which I could see them matching you up. Say that you have 4 friends, then they match you up to someone random based on your skill level.
Yeah.
Perhaps I could see something like that happen. In concept, it seems like a really cool new idea, almost like what Evolve does, but on a RPG kind of level.
And I noticed he wasn't even just dropping in monsters. He was changing the environment.
Yeah.
He was bringing up walls to make it so they couldn't go a certain direction. Yeah. It looked pretty cool.
Yeah, that does look cool.
Another cool announcement I thought, which I think is why Xbox is an excellent gaming machine. A lot of these exclusives, I can count Crackdown, Halo. What were the other ones?
We didn't mention Crackdown.
Yeah.
Crackdown, Halo, Forza, Sunset Overdrive. Pretty much all of the exclusives for Xbox One have dedicated servers.
Okay.
Nice.
So,
that's one of the things I noticed. They used. Do you know what the words they used a lot? Exclusive, dedicated servers. I wrote these down.
1080p.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Don't
60
get us started
frames per
on
second.
that. Yeah. Oh my gosh, this game looks awful. It's got 900p. I can't play this game. It's not going to be fun. No way. Sarcasm. But no, they used exclusive, and they used cloud.
Yeah.
Not cloud.
Dedicated
gaming,
servers.
dedicated
Well, because look at the
servers all
difference
over
with
the place.
dedicated servers. Ubisoft, Watch Dogs, not a very good launch. Titanfall,
Because of the
dedicated server,
multiplayer.
Titanfall, dedicated servers, excellent launch.
I mean,
right?
that affected my game score.
Yeah,
of
it
Watch
really
Dogs,
does.
Because when it doesn't work, I frustrated. I have ADD. I'm frustrated. I got to go do other things.
Got to take a walk.
I have a temper.
Well, so all in all, it was 90 minutes of games. I think it has set a precedence. We are the gaming machine, regardless of what we've done in the past. And if you noticed, we talked about it in our podcast on Friday, but they released all the apps announcements, all the feature announcements. They announced before, and it was all games, so that they didn't have to talk about it during their press briefing.
And we still have the rest of today, tomorrow, and Wednesday for all those other announcements that they'll have at their booths and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So
you've got developer announcements. I think EA is later today, so it's going to be interesting to see what EA does. So it's not the end. This was just Microsoft's only thing. Closing remarks, closing thoughts.
I loved it. There was nothing other than games. So it was just game after game after game. I couldn't write down stuff fast enough. That's why I defer to your notes, Jordan.
It was sensory overload.
It was, and there was no rappers coming on stage. None of that. It was just, just coming out. I noticed Phil Spencer actually said, because I think Xbox has kind of like this, we're not a gaming machine kind of perception, and he said, it's not just me, it's my team.
Yeah, we are dedicated to bringing you the best games.
So I saw that completely, and I was excited, and I was blown away by how good these games are looking. Yeah. Just messes with my mind.
Well, how much is going on screen is impressive as well. Finally, a purely next-gen E3, I feel like. All these were next-gen games.
Then they mentioned that a lot, too. Exclusive to next-gen. Some of them said they weren't exclusive to Xbox, but exclusive to next-gen.
Yeah, exactly.
On some of the games.
Excellent. Like the Assassin's Creed one, for instance, right?
Yeah.
Jordan, final thoughts.
I thought it was excellent. Best E3 in the last couple of years so far. Best press conference from them in the last
Microsoft,
for Microsoft in the last few years.
Not saying much, but it still was really good.
Yeah.
Well, I think they showed. It's interesting. As I was sitting there, I thought to myself, this is going to be the new way that these conferences are done. You don't need the fluff.
No.
You don't need guys getting up and talking about all these stuff.
And-
you just show us.
And did
Just
you
show
notice
us, right?
there wasn't like 10 executives this time? It was
No.
Phil Spencer saying, I'm excited to be here. This is Xbox. Here's our games.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
it.
watch it.
Even
Next-
on
Yeah.
Scalebound, when they have the Japanese guy come out, he could still speak somewhat English.
Yeah.
Which was great, right? We
Because
could understand
sometimes they'll have the other executives like Yusuf Massetti come out and do their thing, but not that like this was all.
It will be
games.
interesting to see, does Sony follow this? Because Sony can change last minute, no doubt. I mean, there's certain stuff that you can't, but they can change and say, all right, let's focus more on this. Or do they stay with the traditional way of doing stuff, of having everyone come out and show off their stuff? I think this is the new way. I think that they
I
just
loved it.
changed
Yeah.
how press briefings are
Yep.
done at E3.
And
Loved it.
I was gonna go see a movie tonight, but now I'm probably gonna play the new Dead Rising.
What movie?
Edge
of Tomorrow
yeah,
one with
yeah.
the Tom Cruise. Yeah.
The final thought I'd like to leave you up just to wrap it up is actually the quote from Phil Spencer at closing. He said, "You just saw 90 minutes of video games."
Yeah.
And he said, we want the Xbox One to be, quote, the best place to play games for this generation. And I thought that was excellent. I think that's definitely what they portrayed.
Yeah, I agree.
Portrayed.
It was fun. That was
All right.
good times.
Stay tuned. Really, this week, keep track of our Twitter accounts. Mark, where can they reach you on Twitter?
At Mr. McSpicy. You can find me on Twitch, Mr. McSpicy, and my gamer tag is Mr. McSpicy if you want to join me or play games with me or whatever. So there you
And Jordan?
At JordanTheMan_XOB and then JordanTheMan on Xbox Live. So
And you can reach Jordan. I am XoneBros on everything. Stay tuned as E3 continues, as more games come out, as different developers have their time in the spotlight. We will be tweeting out our thoughts, our opinions. This has been a special edition, I cannot speak, of XoneBros, actually live in studio.
Yeah.
First time.
This is it.
Not
yeah.
bad.
Wow.
All right, guys, we will see you guys on Friday at our normal time, when which E3 will be over, and we'll be able to go through it all. And we'll see you guys later. Have a good E3.